Hey, what's up everyone? I am here right now with yet another Spyderco video. This is a new knife, so I'm not going to call this a review by any stretch of the imagination. Kind of like a first impression thing because it's basically new out of the box. Now, a lot of you are probably familiar with Spyderco, and you might be familiar with the Endura. You might be familiar with its little brother, the Delica. So here we go. Let's take a look. So this particular Endura, because there are different blade shapes. Some have serrated, non-serrated, combination of the two, different colors. As you can see, coating. So let's take a look here. This particular one is, just about 3 3/4 inches. The handle is about 5 inches, and in total, it's about 8 3/4 inches. So it's a pretty long knife, as you can see. So right here, oh, I'm sorry, this is the Endura. Why do I say Endura? This is the Endura, Spyderco Endura. And as you can see with a lot of Spyderco products, it has the 4-position clip, not deep carry. Just a little spider on the clip there. This particular one, I notice a lot of them have just regular edge on. This particular one has those mean-looking serrations, which can be cool depending on what your daily use is. I mean, if you're going to cut fibrous materials, all the time, you might want it fully serrated. But if it's just kind of an occasional thing, having the partial might be a good option for you. I tend to like just a plain blade myself. But I can see how that would be useful on at least a couple of your knives if you have like a multi-knife setup going. This is a lockback knife, which leads me to something funny. And of course you got the Spidey hole, so you push back right here, and like I said, these oh, this is flickable. Oh, nice. So these are flickable, but of course you have to, you can close it with one hand if you just kind of press it a little bit and come down, but it's not like real fidgety as you would expect, like the paramilitary or something like the Mannix or something. So, but like I said, it's a good knife for what it is. It's kind of like an interesting traditional knife. I mean, when you see a lockback mechanism, I mean, I think of two things when I see a lockback mechanism. I think of a knife that borrows heavily from tradition, and I think of a very strong lock. I think of like a no-nonsense knife. Now, some of you out there, and I would count myself amongst you, kind of like something that's a little fidgety, like you're kind of like your button lock that you're flipping closed and open and closed. I'm one of you. I do that myself. But like I said, it still appreciates something like this. This is just like a straight out kind of utilitarian tool. Now, this one's kind of interesting because what they did with this Endura is it's the tactical Endura, which I find kind of funny. So, of course, they get their fiber reinforced nylon, or what us kids refer to as plastic. I know it's different, but I still call it plastic. So they get the plastic handle, they make it black, and then they get the blade and they coat it and make it black, right? And then it's tactical. Let's forget the fact for a moment that it's a lockback knife, which is kind of an untactical thing to me because it's kind of traditional. It's not really, as Nick Shabazz would say, a high-speed, low-drag kind of thing. It's not like it's like a switchblade or even maybe an assisted or just something that's on bearings with like drop-shut action. It's a lockback. Okay. The other thing is, if it's going to be tactical, you might want to hide it because you're blacking out the knife. So that, like where it says Seki City, that's all kind of blacked out with the coating, and the VG10 Spyderco is kind of blacked out and whatnot. The only shine really is from the serrations. And then you got the blacked out hardware on there. I mean, this is so tactical. But then you don't have a deep carry pocket clip on it. Interesting. So it's not really that tactical. It's almost like it's hard to make a lockback knife tactical. I don't know, maybe it's because it's inherently not tactical. I don't know. They make things black and they call them tactical. But if you can ignore that foolishness, it's a really good knife. And again, this is not a review. There are lots of knives I could review and say, I've had this knife for 4 years and I've carried it a bunch and I've cut a lot of things with it. This is kind of a first impression. And I think one of the reasons I'm doing this particular knife is I just kind of find it interesting because it borrows so much from other Spydercos, like these FRN handles, which I'm usually not a fan of, just kind of for aesthetic reasons. But I gotta tell you, they do give you like some nice grip on there from that pattern. Not too much, not too little, and they kind of like chamfering, for lack of a better term, and it has the stainless steel liners. So it's a very solid knife. It feels solid when you're holding it. It feels solid when you're when you're gripping to cut and stuff, because you got that ramp over here, and you have lots of jimping over here on the handle, and then you have a little bit here on the blade ramp. So if you're trying to cut, I mean, you don't feel like it's going to slip out of your hands. And I have larger than average hands, and I could probably put a 6th finger on there if I wanted to. If I choke up, maybe a 7th. But that would be like a crazy birth defect, I think. So not bad for the price. And by the way, these, I think the MSRP on this particular one is like, I think they're like $150 for the MSRP, but you can usually find them for like a little over $100. This one I think goes for like a few bucks more, because it's like super duper tactical, and all the cool operators from around the world, they use this. Because when they open their Amazon boxes, they want to make sure that no one knows they're opening their Amazon boxes. And it's like they're doing it under the cover of night with all their blacked out hardware. So they pay that extra money just so they can do everything like low profile. Because, they're operators with their blacked out lockback knife. Anyway, to sum it up, in general, cool knife. I could do with all the blacked out stuff. I probably wouldn't mind like a red or a blue or a green handle, to be honest with you. Even though it's not very tactical. But really, all I do is open cardboard boxes and envelopes. But anyway, if you enjoy this, please hit the subscribe button and hit like if you liked the video. I'd appreciate that very much. I will see you later.